An important part of going to Spectrum is the Senior Legacy Project the students complete at the end of their senior year.
My name is Isabel Dillon, and I am a graduate of 2021. My name is Bailey Brown, and I'm a senior this year, so I'm graduating in 2021.
So my name is Tracy D. Hahn, and I am a senior this year of 2021.
My name is Addison Westermeyer, and I'm a senior this year. I'm graduating in May.
This year, the seniors completed a variety of projects.
I donated tie blankets to the St. Paul Children's Child Life Center. So they just provide a space for the cancer kids to play, also for their moms and dads to just chill out while their kid is in the hospital, and siblings too. I did a huge project. I basically planned a party, got donations, made the blankets, and then drove down. I delivered the blankets at the hospital too. So
I made busy bags for children in the hospital at the Children's Masonic as a way of like comfort and distraction from all the chaos going on around them. And then I also donated to 2 other organizations that dealt with type 1 diabetes. Because I'm diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and it was just really important to me to be able to find an organization that helps kids and even adults. So, yeah.
For my senior project, I teach baby ASL at the Wayview Center in Big Lake. So basically, when I say baby ASL, it's like smaller signs for babies to learn and their parents to teach them as they're growing up. So like for children who are deaf or like hearing impaired, so like hard of hearing, or for children who are nonverbal, so they can communicate with their parents.
So for my senior project, I was originally going to do a painting party in which participants would get to pay a small fee to get to paint a canvas and take it home. And all of the proceeds raised would benefit the organization Alight, which is a refugee organization. And during the event, I would give a little presentation about the situation of refugees across the world and their needs. But COVID kind of threw a wrench in those plans. And so this spring is when the spring of 2020 is when I was going to have the party. But I wasn't able to do that. And instead, what I ended up doing is I offered free online homework help sessions for kids that were struggling with distance learning.
The seniors also have some advice they wanted to share with the underclassmen of Spectrum before going into their projects.
One thing that I would say is that pick something that you're passionate about. If it is anything similar to what I had to do for my project, you're going to spend more than 20 hours just working on the project alone. So pick a company or an organization that you like and that you are confident that you're going to be okay with sticking with for the next 2 years. Because if you don't like what you're doing with your project, it's going to be more awful than you want it to be. So that's why I'm really glad that I picked a hospital, because I'm probably going into the medical field. So it was something I was passionate about, and you really just need to be passionate about your project. So choose something that you're passionate about.
I would say just to not procrastinate at all and just to get it done. Like start planning it out like right away in junior year, because that's when we all started doing it. So yeah, just plan it out, kind of get it all organized, and then it's just so much easier to complete it in the summer. So
I would say get the things done by the deadline, because I definitely didn't do that. I was a little behind on things, so it was a little harder for me to catch up, but I still am getting everything done, I would just say, like, pick out your legacy. Don't, like, switch between one if you think one's fun. Get that done. Just, like, get it done, get the phone call done. We had to do a 10-minute phone call about, and you have to record it. It's not as bad as it seems. So that's pretty good. Yeah, honestly, just get things done. Don't be lazy. Don't like put it behind you and like stop doing it. Don't forget about it. Just like get things done. That's what I would say. That would help you in the long run. Because I know I forgot about it, and that honestly like put me like way behind everything that I needed to do.
So as far as tips go, I would say to stick with the schedule that is provided for you. It may seem really annoying and unnecessary to start planning for your senior legacy in September of your junior year, but if you do stick to the schedule that's provided, then it'll make things a lot more manageable. And if you get behind, then that's when it gets more overwhelming. And then also, I would say to choose a project or an organization that you care about, because it'll make it feel a lot less like a hassle, and it'll just make the process all the more simple and enjoyable.
The seniors interviewed were asked, "What is one thing you wish someone had told you before you started your project?" We got some interesting replies.
I wish someone had told me to kind of like plan it out like more and use like the vlogs more, because I don't know, it's easy to forget stuff over the summer of doing it all. So yeah, I would just say to like document more of your stuff and take more pictures, because anything helps with your final project. So
I would have wanted to know to like enjoy what you're doing in the moment and not just like go through it thinking that, oh, I just have to do this because I'm a senior and that this is what is required of me. But I wish I would have known that it's actually really fun if you get into it, and that it's worth it, and you're actually helping people, and that's really cool. So I'd want to know that you only get to do it once for your senior project, so enjoy it while it lasts, because it's worth it and it's worth the time. So that's what I would want to know.
I would say that it's not as difficult as it seems. You hear a lot of classes that come before you talking about how it's super hard, and everybody gets it in their head that it's this extremely stressful, difficult thing. But it's broken down into little pieces, and if you choose something that you like and you care about, then it really won't be all that bad. So don't let other classes freak you out. It's going to be okay. You're going to get through it, and it's going to be fine. I guess I would say just use your resources. The teachers are there to help you with it. Mrs. Crest is there with any questions you have. This year things got complicated with COVID, but the teachers and staff, and especially Mrs. Crest, were there to support us through it. So go to them with anything that you have, and just the main thing is stay on top of it. Otherwise, it'll pile up.
Don't be nervous about it. It's something that I was very nervous about, that I really made a big deal about, but it's not as bad as everybody makes it. I definitely think there's some aspects of it that are harder, but it's not that big of a deal, honestly. Like, some of it's hard, some of it you can get behind on, but honestly, overall, it's a really rewarding experience that you get to go through and that you get to help others, and it's kind of like that little warmth in your heart, I guess. It's just like a lot of people make a big deal about it, but it's not that hard. I wouldn't worry about it.
We also asked the seniors to explain why they think Spectrum does the Senior Legacy Project.
So throughout your years at Spectrum in service learning, you get a lot of different experiences within the community, and I think the purpose of the senior project is to just be a culmination of all the different things that you've learned and gained throughout service learning at Spectrum. And so it's really kind of putting those things into action, and you take all of those things and you do your own service project, and you kind of bring all of the different things you have learned together.
One of the basic building blocks of Spectrum is service, and I think Spectrum has us do our senior project, so we are able to, in essence, like complete our service within Spectrum. So end out our the school with one big service project because they're trying to teach us how to be passionate about service, I think. And I personally believe that service is a big part of my life, and I hope is a big part of other people's lives. So I think it's just them trying to get us to give back to our communities with how much that our community has given to us. So that's why I think Spectrum has a student senior project. Is it an extremely amount of fun all the time? No, I'll admit to that, but it is worth it, and I think that through completing it, it definitely has a purpose, but you have to be able to put your all in if you're going to get any purpose out of it, for sure.
I think Spectrum does the senior project because we're a school that deals with community service, and it's a really big and important thing to help out your community with. So I think they do it as a way to help out the community and be a part of it.
So the Senior Legacy Project is a project that is a requirement for you to graduate at Spectrum High School, but it's like much more than that. It's like a really rewarding thing that you get to do for your community. So you pick a nonprofit organization. At least that's what our year did. I know every year's a little different. And you pick a nonprofit organization that you want to give back to, or you just want to help out with. So you can pick out something that you want to do. Say you want to like tie blankets for kids who are sick, or build benches for a park that needs it, or something like that. And it's like nonprofit, so you don't get any money for it. You just like want to do it. You want to help them for a good cause. And so it's kind of like a community service, but it's also like something that you realize that is really more rewarding than you would really think it is.
We hope the insight from some of the seniors here at Spectrum has given you some things to remember for your project. This has been AJ Brown and Erna Mariba, Noise News.